Well, good morning and welcome to Monday. I'm on the commute today. Had to run a quick errand coming in. So we're going to do this on the way in this morning. I hope you had a great weekend. There's only one more weekend before Christmas. So those of you that need to get your shopping done, it's that time. So hope that you'll go ahead and help out and get that done. Hey, we're looking forward to a great week this week. Got a lot of things going on. In our reading plan, I want to talk today about Habakkuk, and I want to talk today about trusting God. There was a song that came out years ago. When you don't see His hand, meaning God's hand, you don't see it, you don't understand it, you don't know His plan, you can't see what He's doing. Can you trust the heart of God? And learning to trust God is so important. And I would say it's important every day, every year. However, it would seem that this particular year would be one that we need it more because we don't understand what's going on. We can't see God every day. We're not sure that we can see what He's doing or why is He allowing these things to go on. You see, Habakkuk was looking out among his people and looking at a lot of the injustices that were going on. And so he just asked this question, God, how long are you going to let the wicked prosper? How long are you going to allow these things to go on? And so he asked this question, and he had this complaint that he took before the Lord. Have you ever had a complaint that you took before the Lord? I would think that a lot of us have had complaints that we've taken before the Lord, especially in the year of COVID. And so here we are, just like Habakkuk. God, how long are you going to let this thing go on? How long are you going to let this thing ravage our country and ravage our friends and our church? And how long are you going to let this stuff go on? This is the exact question that Habakkuk had for God. And so he asked this question, and then he sat back to listen for what God was going to tell him. And then God in chapter 2 tells him what he's going to do. Well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm actually, Habakkuk, I'm going to let the Assyrians come in and overtake you, haul you guys off to exile. And then when it's all said and done and you get to go back home, that's going to be what we're going to do. And Habakkuk could not, he didn't want to accept that. And he speaks with God. He says, God, I don't understand. How can you, a person that is an entity that is pure and good, how could you even consider working with the Assyrians? How could you even consider working with this pagan country? And so, have you been there? Have you considered the possibility that there's something larger going on? Now, I'm not talking about conspiracy theory. I'm not talking about government cover-ups. I'm not talking about government hoaxes. I'm talking about, have we considered that there's something larger going on than just COVID? You see, I am, like you are, wrapped up in the daily. We're wrapped up in the daily events, the daily issues, the daily effects. How does this affect me? How does this affect my work? How does this affect my friendships? How does this affect, and all these things? Wonder, have we considered, could there be something larger going on? I opened up the show today by saying, if you can't see the hand of God, it doesn't mean it isn't there. Just because I can't comprehend the plan of God doesn't mean He's without one. God has a plan, and God knows what He's doing. allowances of God, in other words, the stuff that he allows to happen, we don't always comprehend. And I'll be honest, we don't agree with, right? I mean, there's stuff God allows in our lives that we would say is unfair. We would cry foul. We'd say, no, that's not fair. Why are you doing this to me? And there's always somebody in our mind that is more worthy of such a problem than we are, right? I mean, but what if we're praying that God would eliminate and remove and get rid of COVID? And I don't say we shouldn't pray for that, but what if God's allowing it to happen so that the church and Christianity and the singular Christian might come out of this on the other side better than we entered? We might be purified. We might be having the dross removed from the silver as we go through the fire. Have we stopped to consider? And this is where I think James has come as well, when he's talking about, look, count it all joy when you go through these trials, when you go through these difficulties. And I know in James, there's the fighting and the quarreling going on he's got to deal with in the church and between brothers and sisters. But I think just generically speaking, count it joy. Can we have joy even still? And I say we can if we get our focus right. When we begin to focus on Jesus and focus on the Lord God and focus on his word, focus on his leadership over my personal heart, oh yes, then I can still not see what he's doing. I could still not comprehend what he's up to, but then I would at least have a sense of peace in knowing God's acting. And Habakkuk had to wrestle with this because God said, look, this is what's going to happen. 5 woes in chapter 2. This is what's going to happen. This is where we're going. And the question that Habakkuk had to deal with in his heart is, can I have confidence in God's plan when I don't understand it, when I probably don't agree with it, when it seems out of place? Well, why in the world would a holy God allow? I know Jerusalem's got its issues. I know Israel's got its issues, God, but are you actually going to let a pagan nation overtake us? I mean, that's not how this works, right? Why is God allowing this to happen to me? We don't always have that answer, do we? And in fact, I think that overcomes most of our day these days. Learning to have confidence in God when you don't always get the answers you want. Learning to have confidence in God when you don't always see where is he going with all of this. We don't always see that. It's only when I choose, and this is an active choice, only when I choose confidence in God, despite my inabilities, despite my disagreements, despite my lack of understanding and comprehension of what he's doing, when I choose to have confidence in God, this is when I can end my prayer time the way Habakkuk did. This is when I can end my day with God as Habakkuk did, and say, I will celebrate the Lord. I will celebrate the Lord. I will rejoice in the Lord. Paul would mimic this, and he'd say, rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say, rejoice. Take all of your troubles to the Lord, because all the peace that you want, the hope that we need this day, this season, the joy that we so desperately are seeking, is not found in my ability. It's found in God's ability. It's not found in the stuff that I can do. It's found in the stuff only he can do. And in fact, The joy that I can have, the joy, the hope, the peace that I can have when I choose to have confidence in God in spite of everything. That's when the joy and the hope and the peace drop. That's when it airdrops into your heart. That's when it drops into your life. That's when life changes. So what will you do? What if COVID doesn't go away? What if COVID it doesn't adjust? What if the vaccine doesn't work? What if? I don't know. We don't know. But I know one who does. And I may not like everything that's going on, and I may not agree with everything that he's allowing to happen, but I today choose to place my confidence in God. The track record of history in scriptures, the track record of my personal experiences. I just take a minute and think about your own life. The more that I fight against God, the harder life gets. Less joy, less hope, less peace. But when I choose to put confidence in God, life changes. I want life change for you. I want you to experience the joy, the track record of my experiences, and go back and look at your own experiences, the track record of your experiences when you walk away from God or you choose to walk with God. Look at the differences that you have. No, things may not get beautiful and rosy and but you have joy and you have peace and you have hope. And there's not a price tag on that. That's priceless gifts that he offers us. It's priceless gifts that he offers all of us. Where will you put your confidence today? I hope that you will put your confidence in God so that you can experience the joy and the hope and the peace that he has for you. This is what we need. I love that we have a vaccine that's coming out. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. But you know what? There are no guarantees in this life. Choose wisely where we put our confidence. Place it in God. We don't understand what he's doing. We don't get what he's up to. That's okay. He's got the joy and the hope and the peace that you're looking for. You're searching for it. You want it. You're not sure where to get it, and you've been seeking it in so many places. Won't you choose the Lord today? You guys have a great Monday. I hope this kickstarts your week. We'll see you tomorrow for Talk It Out Tuesday, where I answer your questions. So if you've got something, you can post it in the chat below. You can send me an email or a text or a Facebook message, and we'll address those things tomorrow on Talk It Out Tuesday. You guys have a great Monday. See you later.